Welcome to this segment of Crime Watch, where we have special interviews. We are looking especially at background check as a tool for tackling insecurity in the country. Joining us to discuss that is a security expert, Frank Oyorimbo. Welcome to the program, sir. Why do you think background check is an important security tool?
Thank you. Now, the issue of background check as an important security tool is the fact that it gives us a knowledge of where there are challenges and where we can tackle those challenges. For instance, Lagos State, armed robbers don't live in the forest. They live within us in the community. If the government can only make one pronouncement that landlords should conduct background check for all their tenants, you will discover that armed robbers will find it difficult to get a place to live within us. And that will push them out of the community. Now, Lastra is a very good idea in this area. But Lastra has not been effectively utilized because background check is not part of their responsibility. And in the past administration, I did a proposal to the Lagos State government when they were doing their 50-year anniversary. And I said that our security as a mega city, this was the proposal. But unfortunately, it was not looked into. And what we were proposing them was that now that Lastra has been set up, let background check be part of the process. There should be clusters of, good enough, we now have estates all over the places. Let there be a cluster of estate with a Lastra office, and every owner, every building owner or house owner take the background check of their tenant and deposit it at the Lastra office. So with that, every landlord will know who is in their house, who is in the compound, who is in the area. So if there are strangers, it's easy to detect. But, you know, it wasn't taken seriously. So background check is important in ensuring that we know ourselves. We know where you work. We know what you do for a living. There are miscreants all over the place who you don't know who they are. But all of a sudden they come up with good vehicles, living fine. Where do they work? You don't know. So the day it's impossible for them to get this free money, they pounce on the next person who is close to them. So that's why we must ensure that background check is entrenched into the security mechanism of both the local government, the state, and the country. Or it's by this you will send message to everyone that we want to know our people. We want to know who stays with us. Now, of late, you discover that people have been coming from other states. You don't know who they are. The influence, because Lagos is a metropolitan town, is a commercial town. So anybody wants to come to Lagos. But when they come, where do they stay? Who are they? They are potential time bomb because you don't know who they are, you don't know what they have come for. So that's why we must ensure that background check is applied to everything that we do. Even employment. Housemaid. You hear stories of people say, oh, well, we employed a housemaid yesterday and tomorrow he has gone away. Where did you get the housemaid from? Some call themselves agents, recruitment agency. This recruitment agency are planned. They are syndicates. So majority of what the problems we have are sponsored by these syndicates, especially when it comes to this house help. We know recruitment, we have recruitment agencies for secular jobs, regular jobs. But for these agencies that recruit housemaid, house help, these are potential time bomb as well that the government needs to look into. And then individuals. In fact, what we are proposing is that let there be a law that states that background check is compulsory for everybody. The House of Assembly should legislate on that, so that if you have a tenant and you don't have a background check report, then you are liable. If you employ anybody, especially domestic staff, and you don't have a background check report of that person, you are liable. So that if tomorrow you employ a domestic staff and then he moves away with your property, you come to the police station, the first question will be, do you have a background check report? And then you say no, say, sorry, we can't help you. Because it is a law that you must have a background check report. When Fasciolas government said they should pay 1 year rent, it became a law. And landlords are adhering to it. You may want to say it's not every landlord that adheres to it, but the landlord that does not adhere to it knows that he's committing a crime. And any tenant that is serious enough, or any applicant that is serious enough, can take it to court. Because that's the law.
Okay.
If Lastra is functional the way it should be, if you rent a hotel, your details are taken and they are uploaded into the database. So if another person comes again and uses that same name, then automatically you know that something is wrong somewhere. But we are so complacent. We are very reactive people. It's when it has happened we start doing things that we think will solve the problem. But you can nip it in the bud by simply taking the step to verify information that gets to you.
How do you think governments can explore this option?
Function of the police, but the police do not have that enough manpower. They have enough on their plate. And that is why you have private background check companies coming up. Now, you have private security companies who will also add background check to their services. But there are core background check companies whose responsibility is just background check. Now, their responsibility is to get this information and then domicile it with the police when the need arises. So, for instance, the landlord that has the data of his tenants, it's not that he collects it today and then tomorrow he takes it to the police. The police don't need it at that point. But when there are issues, when there are security breaches, and then the police wants to start investigation, it becomes handy for the police. Rather than working from a blank slate, they have something to work with. For instance, if a housemaid who goes away or kidnaps the boss's daughter or son or child or steals his property, because he has a background check report of where the lady came from or the driver came from, the agent that brought them, now it is not just getting this information, but verifying it is what makes it relevant, is what makes it usable. Now, you ask these questions, you ask the agency, you ask the personnel himself, every information they give to you, you go and verify if they are correct. So if this personnel don't believe that their information can be used against them in the occurrence of any event, they'll get their shock. Because when you verify this information and the information is as they say, then when there's an issue, you give that dossier to the police. And the police takes it from there. Okay, this is where they live. This is where he said he comes from. This is the village he said he comes from. This is the guarantor. And the guarantor himself also was verified before now whether his net worth is a responsible person. Where does he work? What does he do for a living? And all these details are like a cordon that you are creating around the subject. So when things happen, when there's a breach, these are the piece of information that the police will need to work to get to arrest the person. But when there's nothing like that, the person disappears into thin air. So it is not for the police to actually get the information the moment you get it and democide it to the board. No, but it is a tool that they can use to unravel the issue of crime or kidnapping and all that. So that's where the police comes in. So the issue of trust for the police does not really affect the background check report, because it's not the police that got the report. It's you who is the protagonist that got the report. The police is only using it to work to help solve the problem.
Do you think there should be a collaboration with the police? Because I remember that the former CP opened the desk, specifically for background checks, but unfortunately, Nigerians weren't coming forward.
Now, I think the police have enough responsibility, than delving into background check issues. That's why we said, if they offer, fine, but how many police do we have? Now, for instance, I want to take a housemaid. Okay, how much am I paying a housemaid? That I will have to get a police who will leave his duty post for more responsible issues to go and verify a housemaid. But there are private companies who have enough manpower and facilities to do that. Okay, so these private companies go on behalf of the police and get this report. And now, if you, for instance, how much does a policeman earn? Now, if you now want to use the policeman, you are depriving him of the most serious responsibility to the people and to the government. So you should face the job that the government has employed them for. These are minor issues. It's information gathering. Though the police can be involved in information gathering for higher profile issues, but not issues of background check. And that's why the private companies are kind of helping and supporting to reduce the work of the police in these areas.
Okay.
We should take the responsibility of securing ourselves in the area of information gathering as relating to background check. As simple as hiring a driver is. Conduct background check. You don't need the government to do that for you. We're only asking government to be involved so that there'll be some level of seriousness. If not, we don't even need the government to be involved in background check issues, especially domestic background check issues. But one thing we are exhibiting as a people is that anything that does not have some repercussion, we become complacent with it. That's why we are advocating that government should be involved. Ordinarily, when you buy your car, if government was not involved in insurance, a lot of people will not do insurance.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why people do insurance. So even to the point that people do fake because they don't want the problem of the government. Yeah. That's it. So that consciousness is there. So the people that know the value will not do fake. Okay. People that know the value of insurance will not do fake. But people that does fake is because there's a punishment attached to it if you don't do it. So that's what we're advocating. That's why we are calling for government to be involved in background checks. So that be a punishment. So that punishment will not drive people to embrace it. But ordinarily, you don't need government to tell you to do something that will secure your own life. So that's why we're advising that everybody should see background check as a personal responsibility. So before you deal with anybody, marriage, conduct background check. We have problems in homes today because people don't know the people they get married to. Love is not enough. You need to know the person you are getting married to. You know the family. Our parents do it. They send emissaries to villages. This person wants to marry. We must take background check seriously as an individual and then ask the government to back it up by legislation so that people will be afraid of repercussion and embrace it the more.
I must say a very big thank you for coming on the program. Thank you so much. Crime Watch continues shortly.